Hello everyone. So today we will start with our next topic of first chapter, that is environmental issues. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about various environmental issues so that we can find out the solution for that issues and we can keep our environment sustainable. So just see this picture and try to find out various environmental issues. So, can you recognize some of the issues in this slide? Just try to identify which are the different issues. Just try to note it down which are the different issues you can identify in this slide. Okay. So, okay. So these are the different issues which we have to discuss. And first one is greenhouse effect, then climate changes, that is next global warming, then acid rain, ozone layer depletion, nuclear accidents, pollution, which may be air, water, or land, then deforestation, then degradation by improper resource utilization and maintenance, then population growth, polar ice cap, genetic modification of crops, overfishing, and lower biodiversity. So these are the important issues which we are going to discuss. So we'll start with the first, that is greenhouse effect. So what is mean by greenhouse effect? So basically the greenhouse effect is a process that occurs when gases in the earth atmosphere trap the sun's heat, and this process makes the earth much warmer than it would be without an atmosphere. So the greenhouse effect is one of the things that makes the earth a comfortable place to live. That means the gases which are coming from the greenhouse absorb the heat from the sun and make the earth warmer to sustain a life on the earth. Okay. So the greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and fluorinated gases. But what happens? What is the problem in greenhouse effect is? See, so how the greenhouse effect works. See, step 1, solar radiations reaches the earth atmosphere and some of this is reflected back into the space. Solar radiation reaches the atmosphere on the earth, but some of the radiations are reflected back into the space. The rest of the sun's energy is absorbed by the land and the ocean, heating the earth. Heat radiates from the earth towards the space. Some of this heat is trapped by greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, keeping the earth warm enough to sustain a life. So some of heat from the sun is absorbed on the atmosphere so that the life becomes sustainable on the earth. But what happens, what is the actual problem is, the human activities such as burning of fossil fuels, agriculture, and land clearing are increasing the amount of greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere. The gases which are used in greenhouse, the amount of gases are increasing, and that's why these gases are increasingly absorbing the sun's heat, the heat which is generated by the sun. So as the amount of gases increases, it will absorb the more heat, and which makes the earth atmosphere much heater. So this is the trapping extra heat and causing the earth's temperature to rise, which causes the temperature on the earth to rise, and that is the greenhouse problem. The next is global warming. So how the global warming happens? So what is the global warming? So greenhouse gases are produced naturally and trap the heat in the Earth's atmosphere like a blanket. When there is an increased concentration of such gases in the atmosphere, mostly by burning of fossil fuel, there is a proportionate increase in the temperature of the Earth atmosphere, and that is called as a global warming. So, which are the causes of global warming? So, global warming occurs when carbon dioxide and the other air pollutants and greenhouse gases collect in the atmosphere and absorb the sunlight and solar radiation that have bounced off the Earth's surface. And normally, this radiation would escape into space, but these pollutants, which can last for years to centuries in the atmosphere, trap the sun's heat and cause the planet to get hotter. And that is the reason of global warming. So, which are the human led factors responsible for global warming? So, these are the human led factors which are responsible for the global warming. So, exponential growth in human population. So, as human population increases, it will increase the use of resources. So, use of resources, that is use of energy, increase the amount of burning of fossil fuel, which in turns increases the amount of gases released and which causes the planet to get hotter. Then massive and unplanned urbanization and industrialization. Then next, burning of fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum and natural gas at huge scale. Next is change in lifestyle and massive increase in number of machineries and gadgets. So these are the human-led factors which are responsible for the global warming. So how we overcome this problem of global warming? What we can do to overcome the problem of global warming and climate changes is, so first is reduction of greenhouse gases. So we have to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases. Then next one is climate engineering. Climate engineering means we have to study about the changes in the climate and we have to study about how we can sustain our life into that climate. So that is known as the climate engineering, so that we can live in a sustainable way in that environment. So that is climate engineering. Then political measures. Political measures is government has to pay attention to that problem and try to find out new policies or try to make new act regarding the issues, so that the amount of gases released by a greenhouse are keep in a certain limit. So that these are comes under the political measures. Then changes in daily consumption behavior. We have to save energy so that fuel consumption is less. Then education. We have to educate our children, our next generation about the problem and how to overcome this. So how to change our behavior, that comes under the education. Then convince the other. That means we have to convince others also to save or to use less energy as they can. The next serious problem is, or the next issue is the acid rain. So acid rain is a rain or any other form of precipitation that is unusually acidic, meaning that it has elevated levels of hydrogen ions. It can have harmful effect on plants, aquatic animals and infrastructure. So acid rain is a result of air pollution. So as you can see in these figures, the rain is occurring and which is acidic rain. So how it happens? Acid. So how acidic is acid rain? So acidity is measured using a scale called as a pH scale, and this scale goes from 0 to 14.0, and 14.0 is the most acidic level and the 14 is the most alkaline. that is opposite of the acidic. And something with a pH value of 7, we call it as a neutral value. This means that it is neither acidic or nor alkaline. Okay, so very strong acids will burn if they touch your skin and can even destroy the metals, as acid can burn your skin or destroy the metals. So what happens if the acid rain happens? It will burn your skin if it falls on your skin. Then rain is always slightly acidic because it mixes with naturally occurring oxides in the air. Unpolluted rain would have a pH value of between 5 and 6. Where there is no pollution, the rain which happens, which has a pH value between 5 and 6, and when the air becomes more polluted with nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide, the acidity can increase to a pH value of 4. That is more acidic. And some rain has even been recorded as being pH value of 2. That means if the pH value of the rain is less than 5 or 6 up to 0, so that is called as the more acidic rain, and which causes the various dangerous effect to the human life, not only to the humans but to the each and every life on the earth atmosphere, which may be on the air, land, or it may be on the in the water. So each and every system, every life cycle on the earth, it is affected by the acid rain. So which are the effects of acid rain? So the ecological effect of acid rain are most clearly seen in the aquatic environments such as streams, lakes, where it can be harmful to fish and the other wildlife also. As it flows through the soil, acidic rainwater can leach aluminum from soil clay particles and then flow into the streams and lakes. The next is how to overcome this problem of the acid rain. So first is reduce the emission. So to overcome the acid rain, we have to reduce the emission. That means we have to reduce our use of fossil fuel so that the amount of gases released into the atmosphere is releases, and which does not cause the mixing of these gases into the atmosphere, into the rain. So burning fossil fuel is still one of the cheapest way to produce the electricity. So people are now researching new ways to burn the fuel which don't produce so much of the pollution. So we have to reduce the amount of air pollution. Then government needs to spend more money on pollution control, even if it does mean an increase in the price of electricity. Then sulfur can also be washed out of smoke by spraying a mixture of water and powder limestone into the smokestack. So the sulfur which is coming from the different industries which releases gases into the atmosphere. So the sulfur which is coming from that industries, so it has to be washed out by using the spray of mixture of water and powder limestone, so that it would be less harmful. Then cars are now fitted with the catalytic converters which removes the three dangerous chemicals from exhaust gases. Then find alternative sources of energy. So we have to find the alternatives for the energy for the burning of fossil fuel. That is in the form of two other sources that are currently used as a energy sources are hydroelectric and nuclear power, and the other sources could be solar energy or windmills. So we have to maximize the use of solar and windmills so that the amount of pollution gets decreases. Then next is conserving the resources. We have to minimize the use of resources as well as we have to conserve the resources. So, greater subsidies of public transport by the government to encourage the people to use the public transport rather than always traveling by the car. So, we have to encourage the use of the public transport so that the amount of pollutant which are release into the atmosphere get reduces. Then every individual can make an effort to save energy by switching off lights when they are not being used and using energy saving appliances when less electricity is being used. Pollution from power plants decreases. Then walking, cycling and sharing cars all reduces the pollution from vehicles. So we have to take care of these, that whenever there is a possibility uh, that we can cover the minimum distance by using walking, so we have to use that. Then carpooling, cycling, these are the best option so that we can conserve the resources. Next, the next problem is the ozone layer depletion. So what is the ozone layer? Basically ozone layer depletion. So as you can see in this diagram, ozone layer depletion, this is the earth, then earth atmosphere, this is the layer of atmosphere, and the layer above the exact above the atmosphere is known as the ozone layer. This one is the ozone layer. Okay, now what happens is when the sun radiates rays, so these rays contains the ultraviolet rays, that is UV rays, and these ultraviolet rays are harmful to the human life or to the any life on the earth atmosphere. So ozone layer will absorb these ultraviolet rays into the atmosphere. It will absorb these UV rays and reduce the amount of UV rays to reach to the earth atmosphere. That is the working of ozone layer. See, the ozone layer protects the life on the earth by absorbing the ultraviolet, that is UV radiations from the sun. UV radiations causes many problems from skin cancer and cataracts in people to damage farm crops. The ozone layer is like sunscreen for the earth and it reduces the sunburn. But what happens is due to consumption of more fuel and generation of greenhouse gases and global warming, this layer of ozone is depleted due to amount of heat generated. This layer of ozone is depleted and the hole is formed. See, in the ozone layer the hole is formed and that is known as the ozone hole. So what happens is the radiations from the sun is directly reaching to the earth's atmosphere and which is very harmful, which is very harmful to every life on the earth. See, oxygen, which is very active near the earth's surface, ozone is harmful to humans, plants and animals. But ozone also forms a gaseous layer mostly in the stratosphere, that is the upper part of the atmosphere. Upper part of the atmosphere is stratosphere, that is 15 to 30 kilometer above the surface on the earth, and protects the life on the earth by absorbing biologically harmful UV rays from the sun. So what is damaging the ozone layer? So which are the gases or which are the elements which are responsible for damaging the ozone layer and causing the and creating the ozone hole? So the atmospheric data demonstrates that ozone depleting substances are destroying ozone in the stratosphere and thinning the earth's ozone layer. Ozone depleting substances are chemicals that include chlorofluorocarbons, halogens, carbon tetrachloride, methyl chloroform, then hydrobromofluorocarbons, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, methyl bromide, and bromochloromethane. So these are the elements which are responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer. So they deplete the ozone layer by releasing chlorine and bromine atoms into the stratosphere, which destroys the ozone molecules. And these and other ozone depleting substances also contribute to varying extent to global warming. Next is, so what we can do to protect the ozone layer? What we can do is, so first is Purchase the refrigeration and air conditioning products that don't contain ozone depleting substances. So while purchasing refrigeration and air conditioning, we have to check that manual which contains all the information related to that products, which contains the information related to the gases used in that product, so that we can identify the amount of gases released from that product, so how it contributes to the pollution. So we have to find the minimum which creates the minimum pollution, and try to purchase that. The next, purchase the right air conditioner for our home. Then service refrigeration and air conditioning equipment regularly. We have to maintain the service regularly so that the equipments becomes in their sustainable state. Then use approved technicians only. We have to use the approved technicians only so that the other problems could not occur. That is like regarding the release of the other gas. If that device is not handled by the approved user, and if something wrong happens, then it will create more dangerous effect. So we have to use the approved technicians only. Then ensure the refrigeration and air conditioning products at the end of life are properly degassed. At the end of the life of that refrigerator or that air conditioner, we have to take care that they are properly degassed. Then the next important issue is nuclear accident. So what is nuclear accident? Basically, we are nowadays we are using the energy known as a nuclear energy. So this is a nuclear power plant at Tarapur. Image of the nuclear power plant at Tarapur, like other nuclear power plant. Okay. So what is the nuclear energy? So the energy released by the change in the nucleus of atoms is known as a nuclear energy. And the changes in the nucleus of atoms is normally caused by either nuclear fusion or nuclear fission. The technology that manipulates such changes in the nucleus or nuclear reaction of some specific elements and transforms into energy is known as the nuclear technology. So what is the nuclear fuel? How we generate the nuclear energy? So nuclear fuel is an element that is used in the nuclear power plant to produce heat to power the turbines. Okay, so these are the elements or the these are the elements which are used in the nuclear power plant to generate the heat, so that to generate the nuclear energy. So uranium dioxide, plutonium, uranium nitride, uranium carbide, pressurized water reactor and boiling water reactor. Okay, so this is very important from your MCQ's point of view, so remember it. Then applications of nuclear technology. Which are the applications where we use this nuclear technology? Okay, so first is production of electric energy. As we are using nuclear energy for the generation of electric energy, then it is also used for the different industries. For example, manufacturing of plastics and in sterilization of disposable products. Then manufacturing of nuclear weapons for the defense forces of the country. Then medicinal use, for example, radiotherapy for the treatment of tumors. Then frequently used in agricultural field to control pests, maximizing water resources. Then it is used to reduce the environmental and health consequences of large scale use of fossil fuels. So nuclear energy is replaced by the fossil fuels so that the environment becomes sustainable. The amount of gases released by the burning of fossil fuel is reduced by using the nuclear energy, but obviously it is highly costly. But which are the disadvantages of this nuclear energy use? So the biggest disadvantage of this use is that it is very hazardous to human life. not only to the human but each and every life on the earth, whether it is on the land, whether it is on the water or air. So nuclear waste is very hazardous as it remains radioactive for thousands of the years. The particles which are used in the nuclear energy, so if that releases, then it will become uh, sustainable in the environment for thousands of years, and which causing the very dangerous effects, as we all know. So these are the list of the nuclear accidents which happens worldwide up till now. So you people might be have heard about the Chernobyl incident in the Ukraine. So we know that it is having very dangerous effect on the life on the earth, on the life. Uh, see, the which are the effects. So humans with many uh, disabilities are born due to that elements present in the atmosphere. Then it is also harmful for marine life also. So these are the different events, these are the different accidents which creates the nuclear accidents. And next is we have to find the ways, so how we can reduce this amount of accident, or how we can uh, eliminate, or how we can sorry, how we can eliminate these accidents. So nuclear accidents can be totally eliminated in the future. So yes, future for this nuclear energy. The future belongs to the fourth generation of nuclear power reactors. So it is called as a generation 4. So this new generation of nuclear power reactors is a revolutionary type of reactors with innovative fuel cycles and technologies, and with the innovation designed to achieve improved fuel efficiency, including high temperature applications, and designed to be used safely in isolated or remote locations. The use of this type of system designed for the generation of electricity will increase the nuclear safety and will reduce the significantly the possibility of a severe nuclear accident or the nuclear incidents. So the future is generation of the fourth fourth generation of nuclear energy, so which will reduce the amount of incidents by using the major or more safety appliances. So this is how we can use the nuclear energy. Then up till now we have discussed these topics in this PPT: greenhouse effect, global warming, acid rain, ozone layer depletion, and nuclear accident. The various other topics, that is various other issues, we will discuss it into the next lecture. Okay, thank you.